Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. Today, we're diving into the world of electric vehicles, EVs, where not everything is as smooth as the ride these cars promise. Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, GM, is a well-known EV enthusiast with an ambitious goal to make GM a fully electric automaker by 2035. However, the road to this electrified future is proving to be bumpier than expected. From significant reliability issues to dwindling demand and investment delays, GM seems to be trailing in the EV race. Buckle up as we delve into the 5 reasons why Barra is facing her most significant EV challenge yet. Reason number 5. The Chevy Blazer EV sales freeze. A few years ago, GM revived the Blazer nameplate, but instead of the rugged off-roader fans anticipated, they got a unibody crossover. The all-electric Blazer, priced at $57,000, was expected to rectify this. However, it turned out to be a nightmare. Plagued with issues, sales were halted less than 4 months after launch. Both the Blazer and the luxurious Cadillac Lyriq temporarily lost their $7,500 tax credit eligibility. Owners are now in limbo, awaiting software updates at dealerships with no clear resolution timeline. A recent Edmunds report highlights the severity of the situation. They purchased a new Blazer EV, and within 2 months and less than 2,000 miles, they encountered 23 problems. During a single trip from LA to San Diego, everything malfunctioned. Window switches stopped working, the infotainment system went haywire, and numerous error messages appeared. The same day, an unable to charge message popped up, even though the car wasn't plugged in. Reduced acceleration was signaled by a turtle icon, and eventually, the one-pedal driving feature failed. All this happened within 24 hours. Reason number 4, infotainment system woes. Just a few days into the ownership of the Blazer EV, and owners are already reporting a slew of problems, most of which revolve around the infotainment system. This isn't just a Blazer issue. It's a problem that's plaguing other GM EVs as well, including the high-end models like the Cadillac Lyriq and GMC Hummer. From screens flickering on and off to systems rebooting repeatedly, the issues are numerous and frustrating. The infotainment system in an EV is far more integral to the vehicle's operation than in a traditional gas-powered car. So, when the system fails, it often leaves owners unable to even drive their vehicles. The real kicker? GM doesn't yet have a solution. Owners who've taken their Blazer EVs to dealerships for repairs have found that the technicians are just as stumped. Attempts at software updates have only exacerbated the problems, and in some cases, installing new modules has left vehicles inoperable and languishing at dealerships for weeks. It's not just the Blazer facing these issues. Other GM EVs are experiencing similar problems. While GM officials have stated that these problems aren't safety-related, we're not entirely convinced. In addition to the glitches and reboots that Blazer owners are dealing with, Lyriq owners are also reporting problems with more advanced drive assist systems, such as the Super Cruise, a hands-free drive assist feature, which frequently disconnects for no apparent reason. Reason number 3, charging challenges. Software glitches extend beyond the realm of infotainment, critically impacting the batteries. This is particularly true for Ultium batteries, a highly touted technology in the North American EV sphere. On paper, this technology, with its 800-volt charging architecture and massive capacity, promises swift charging rates and unrivaled autonomy. However, the reality is far from perfect. Consumers have reported numerous charging and battery-related issues. For instance, Edmunds testers encountered an unable to charge message and a turtle symbol indicating limited power delivery and reduced acceleration during a short trip. This isn't an isolated incident. Owners of Blazer EV, Lyriq, and Hummer EV have faced similar problems, including issues at public charging stations. Software errors have led to numerous reports of cars stopping charging or charging at a very slow rate, particularly at Electrify America stations. A Chevrolet dealership employee shared a peculiar case on Reddit. A Blazer EV was returned due to several issues, including a malfunctioning infotainment and gauge cluster, and a charge port door that opened and closed on its own. The car sat on the lot, and the port door opened and closed repeatedly without any human intervention. These odd issues, while seemingly minor, contribute to the growing list of problems faced by GM Ultium electric car owners and deter potential buyers from considering electric cars in the future. Reason number 2, GM's investment pullback. Reliability issues are just one factor leading GM to postpone several investments. The slower than expected sales of EVs is another significant concern, not just for GM, but for the entire automotive industry. This slowdown in the growth of the electric car market, known as the EV meltdown, has forced automakers like GM to rethink their investment strategies. The issue isn't merely about halting sales of models like the Blazer, it's more profound. Like other manufacturers, Chevy is still grappling with making EVs profitable, with most development funds coming from profits made by gas-powered cars. This situation has led to a slowdown in investments to conserve capital. For instance, GM has delayed the production of the all-electric Silverado in Orion assembly until the end of 2025. Another delay involves the new electric drive unit planned for production at the Toledo plant, now postponed until the end of 2024. GM isn't alone in these challenges. Other companies, including their biggest rival, Ford, are also facing similar issues and are planning to conserve capital, as evidenced by Ford's announced $12 billion delay in EV spending. Reason number 1, time for a rethink. Considering all the factors we've discussed, it's clear that something needs to change. The expectation, led by politicians and followed by several major car companies, was that electrification could be achieved quickly. But now, both automakers and consumers are grappling with numerous problems, from reliability issues and the EV meltdown to production challenges, all of which are preventing EVs from becoming profitable. Car makers still haven't figured out the EV economy and don't know how to optimize production to make EVs affordable. At the same time, the early adopter phase is over, and the masses are still reluctant to embrace electric vehicles for reasons that are more than obvious. EVs are too expensive, inconvenient, and less reliable than ICE cars. GM is significantly affected by these negative trends. Mary Barra has been overly optimistic about electrification for years, with the primary goal of positioning GM as the front-runner. Today, it's clear that the plans were somewhat unrealistic. To remind you, GM announced a plan to have a 1 million unit production capacity by the end of 2025, but the company is still far from that milestone. It will end this year with around 100,000 EVs produced, and there's no way we can expect a 10-fold increase in the next 2 years. And even though this is still the official plan, there's no doubt that GM management recognizes the reality and that a revision of the plans is underway. The electrification process will take much longer than expected, and GM is now acutely aware of that. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of EVs. Don't forget to subscribe to Piston Pundit to stay updated on the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you next time.